Warning: the activities depicted in the following video were performed by an unsupervised, unqualified, self-taught enthusiast. When choosing to replicate anything you see here, viewer judgment and common sense are advised.
Hey guys, it's Nikki. Welcome to Scratching the Dirt. This is video 3. Today's video is going to be us taking a little bit of a tour of the chicken coop and meeting all of the chickens kind of individually. I'm going to show them to you as best as I can. I'm not so great at filming them individually. They like to run around and scatter, but I just wanted to show you guys. I know you've seen bits and pieces of the run already in previous video, but I just want to show you guys that it's possible to have chickens, to have healthy chickens, and to have the joy of chickens without investing a ton of money. We used materials that we happen to have for the most part to build the coop and the run. And I just wanted to let you guys see it and see the whole thing in its entirety rather than just bits and pieces. Also, I have a composting project that I worked on and I filmed, and I'm going to talk about the way we did compost last year and actually the year before, and the way we are trying it out this year. We've had some weed issues coming from the compost. Those are still existing right now out there in the garden. So I'm going to talk about that, about why that is, I believe, and what we're trying to do to correct that. And then you're going to see that I'm going to do some manual labor. But I hope you guys enjoy this look at the chickens. I hope you enjoy the look at the composting. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you'll just be entertained. But I'll see you in the video here in a second. Okay, let's meet these girls. Look, she's up on the limb, up on the roost. Hey, girls. So you've seen Sour Cream do her thing. I've got 2 Easter eggers. These are the girls. The other one's right here, right there. These are the girls that lay the green eggs. Sour Cream is a white leghorn. The other floppy comb is a brown leghorn. That's Bacon. This girl and her sister over there are well bars. They don't have names. The 3 black chickens are Australorps. Their names are Ed, Ed, and Eddie. These girls, this one and that one, those are Plymouth Blues. Everyone except for Sour Cream, Bacon, and the Easter eggers lay brown eggs, different colors of brown. The well bar. Oh, I forgot about Pickles and Chips. So Pickles and Chips are Wyandottes, and they are the bullies of the group. So all of the ones with names are from our first group of chickens that we got. The ones without names are from our last group, where I realized I can't really actually tell them apart anyway. I just say one of the well bars, one of the Easter eggers, one of the blues, to keep them, like when we're talking about somebody that's acting weird or something. I probably should get better about naming them and being able to tell them apart. I just wanted you guys to see the run real quick. So it's a mess. I had a project plan for that. I haven't gotten to that yet. You can see that they dig these holes. This is how they get cool in the summer, because we get really hot here. But it was all grass when we put them in here, and then they've come down to the dirt. I keep pelletized bedding in here. You can actually see where it's been kicked out, and it's made like it's filled in between the bed. That's all the pelletized bedding that is broken up and they've dug up and kicked out. So they need more. I need to come in and rake this. I need to water it down to get some of this, how it gets so hard. If you live in Texas, or at least my part of Texas, you know all about clay soil. That's what we have. It does this. So they've obviously scratched around all of the pelletized bedding. They're waterers. They need water. That's what I'm out here for, water and treats, and to collect the eggs. I had to put a rock out there to block them. They had dug under. However, if I go outside, because of predators. And we have, hang on, let me get over here. I'll show you from top to bottom. We have netting, if you can see it. We have netting on the top because we do have birds of prey around here. At the bottom, we hammered these little things. I bought these things. They're little, I don't actually know what they're, I think they're meant for predator proofing, but all around the whole thing, there's these, and they go 16 inches deep. So anything that was going to try to dig in would have to dig lower than 16 inches to get in. So, and then we have hardware cloth on the bottom, chicken wire on the top. So that's the run. This is where they hang out during the day. The coop is also a mess right now. So I'm kind of surprised I'm showing it to you at the moment, but I usually scoop their poop. I have a compost issue right now, so I haven't scooped in a little bit. This is where they roost and sleep at night. And I added a 2x4 when we added the girls. We have fans in here, but I haven't blown them out, so they're not. And we have lights. Look at this mess. We run these lights in the fall and winter, and this is where they lay their eggs. This is where they nest. These are the eggs today. Look, some of them they've been kind of dirty lately. I need to clean up. This one they don't use. The back little board fell off, so they haven't been using it ever since that back board fell off. But there is a section here with linoleum underneath, and it's peeling up, and I need to clean. So, I mean, just being real here. This is the reality of chickens, though. Poop gets everywhere. Like, it just is what it is. But they are clean. Like, it looks really filthy. But I work a full-time job, so I can't be out here scrubbing the coop every day. And then, I shut that. I'm going to go back in for eggs in a second. And then in here, this other part of the chicken coop is like storage. So I have a coop only broom and stuff. And then I have I set up their treats and those things. I have some buckets for treat and feed, different things. I use just a plain old kitty litter scoop, or I have this one, which is longer. So I thought it would work better, and it turns out it doesn't actually work better. So there's feed, treats, that bedding that I use right there for their nesting boxes. It's a super simple setup, right? Lots of ventilation. We have the automatic door, so that door is on a timer. It opens and closes at whatever time we set, so we don't have to actually physically come out and put the chickens to bed or let them out in the morning. I come back and give you the wider view. See, it's just run. This spot, y'all, this cracks me up. This spot right here that's not painted, it's when we first built it. Excuse me, when Jose first built it. I didn't build this. He had closed the door with a board. It was tacked on there to keep it closed until we could get the little latchy things and close the door properly. And he painted while that was still up there. So that spot's just been there the whole time. And then there's the coop there. And then on the far right, there's the storage area. We just have a metal roof. We used what we had. There are roosting bars inside here and inside the coop. A lot of them are just limbs that we had cut off trees. And then that's a part of a pallet that I had cut. That water is up on a cinder block, which I need to level that out, because that's why that water is so funky, because it's not level and it keeps dripping. But there it is. That's the coop, the run. That's the girls. And now I'm going to get their treats. I want to talk about the compost. This is our old compost system. So the compost is one of the places where I am still learning. So the way this was this was a compost bin. That was a compost bin. This over here is compost sifting. So we're not using it for that right now, but there's hardware cloth under here. Jose just stretched hardware cloth across here. And so I would take shovelfuls of compost, put them on top of here, put the wheelbarrow underneath here, and it would fall down. The sifted compost would fall down, and the big chunks would then go back into the compost. But the way we set it up last year was, this was 2026 compost. This was 2025 compost. So we did that because of the chicken manure. Chicken manure needs about a year before it can be fully composted and put out into the garden. So this way, all of the chicken manure could go here. The food scraps and things that were going to be quick to break down could go here. And then that's the compost that I use this year in 2025 in the garden when I set everything up this spring. Everything that was in here, because this was all compost, everything that was in here has come over to the new compost system, which I made a video yesterday about how I haven't cleaned the chicken coop in a while because we didn't have a solution for the manure. Because what originally was planned here was all of the compost went here that came out of over there. That's 2026 compost, so we'll use that next spring. And then 2027 was going to go here, and we were going to keep that 2 year, like 1 year here, next year here, the following year here. So that as I added during 2025, as I added chicken manure to 2027, it didn't matter because there was going to be plenty of time. Well, our compost is huge. Like, we have a lot of waste for some, I guess, between the chicken manure and all the food scraps and all the things that we cut down and everything, we have a lot of compost. And so we were trying to come up with a solution. My original idea was to build another little section right here, like just a 4x4, more pallets. Obviously, this is all just made from pallets. And I was just like, well, let's just add another section right here. I can put the chicken manure and some stuff to help it start composting in that section, and then we can just move it. We can have this whole big thing for next year. Well, we decided not to do that. I decided last night when I was talking about how dirty the chicken coop was, that I just wanted to clean out that coop. So after I made that video, I went and raked the coop and pulled out a lot of that poop and everything. And this is our solution. This bucket right here that Jose got from work or somewhere, I don't know, it has the chicken manure in it. So everything I pulled out last night is inside there. I'm just not going to add anything to it. And then when we pull this out next year, all this, there's a train, y'all. I'm sorry. It's really loud. When we pull this out, we can then take that manure and add it to the new compost, and it'll still have more than a year in the composting process. I moved this headboard from right there, is blocking the compost. I'm about to try to shovel some of this over to this side because this right here, this one is being pushed out. And so since we have both sides, we're going to utilize both sides. The reason why I'm liking this system so far, though, is because I have this middle spot. I have this area where I can like be in the middle of it, and I can work either side, and I can turn from this side to this side and back again without having to go out into the yard with the piles. That's what we used to have to do when we turned the compost. We would take it all the way out. We would have piled it out here outside of it, and then come back in with the compost in order to turn it. Because it was so cumbersome and labor intensive, we didn't turn the compost as much as we should have. That is what led to the weed problem that we had last year and we're having again this year. The compost wasn't getting turned enough. The compost wasn't getting hot enough to kill the seeds that ended up in the compost. So like I do this, like look, there's a pepper, there's all those seeds. I put them in there. I just put stuff in there, and sometimes I don't pay close enough attention to what's already seeded when it comes to weeds, and they end up in here And if my compost doesn't get hot enough, now I'm not an expert, but if the compost doesn't get hot enough, it's not going to kill those seeds. And then when I put it out in the garden the next year, those seeds are just going to germinate. And that's what's happening. I have a friend. You'll see him. He was in this compost somewhere. This is my progress so far. Doesn't look like much, feels like a lot. So this is the new pile. I'm doing this now because this is in the shade right now. I'm already dripping sweat. It's already really hot here, but I'm gonna keep going. Shovel work is not my strong suit. I'm glad Monday's a holiday. Today's Sunday. I'm glad tomorrow's a holiday because I'm gonna be sore. I already know it. This is how far I've gotten, but I've gotten to this section here. This is from where I cleaned out the chicken coop in the spring, and I took all the sand in the coop out, all of it, everything. And it has packed into a very hard, difficult to penetrate chunk. So as I was going, oh, look, I'm doing good, making good progress, I hit this, and now I'm like, Lord help me. But again, I'm just going to keep going, see how far we get. This is where I'm at. And I know I'm breathing heavy. Y'all, this is hard work for me. This was the high side. Now this is the high side. And it's encroaching into my middle ground, which is fine because once we get this side braced up, some of it will come back over here. But that sand, y'all, that sand is no joke. I'm going to go take a break and drink some water and let my heart rate and breathing come down a little bit. And then hopefully I'll get back at it. I'm still breathing heavy. I came up to my porch to take a break. I'm gonna drink some water. I got my water right there. I'm gonna drink some water and then probably go back at it. And it just made me think of the way I just got to a point where I was like, whoa, am I gonna throw up? Slow down, sister. That dirt is still gonna be there. And this isn't something that you have to do today. I decided to do this because I was trying to take some pressure off of Jose and his never-ending to-do list. Trying to be helpful. That man does so much. And a lot of the things he does, I don't have the skills or the knowledge to do. So the things I can do, I try really hard to do. So, but it reminded me of the fact that, have you guys ever been to a class or a training or something? And around lunchtime, the instructor goes, hey, so if we take lunch now, we're on pace to finish at about 3 o'clock. If we just take a quick break and then we plow through lunch, we'll be out of here before 2. I'm the girl that votes plow through. Let me go to the restroom. Let me fill up my water bottle and then let's just knock this out. And that's how I was acting with the compost. I was like, you just got to finish. That was Jose. He called me. I was talking about, see, I'm like tired. I was talking about how I'm always the kind of person that's like, let's plow through, let's just get it done. And then we can, do whatever we want later. Well, the problem with that kind of attitude with what I'm doing right now is that I don't feel good. And Jose just reminded me that it's okay and I need to take breaks and I need to take care of myself, because what will happen if I don't is I'll go inside and then I won't get anything done inside when it's hot outside later today. I will have kind of wasted half the day just by being stubborn. So I'm still sitting on the porch. I'm still like wiping. See, I have my towel as usual. I'm wiping my sweat off. I'll talk to Jose for a while. And I'm going to keep going with my cool down, and then I'm going to go back out there and see how much I get done. I'll let you know. I'm coming in here. They all ran over here because they heard me open the door. They think I have treats, but it's not treat time. But what I was hoping to be able to film was the fact that I just sprayed water. You see water hose out there. I just sprayed water into the run. Usually when I do that, if I don't come immediately in the run, they start like pecking at it, and they act like they really love having the mud. But they very well could be saying, woman, what are you doing? Why are you making it wet out here? But I've been doing this for this is my 3rd year to have chickens, so I've been doing it since they came out here they seem to like it, and I figure it helps cool them down. I'm fairly certain we're going to be above 90 degrees again today, so that cool dirt, they'll dig down in there when it dries out a little bit and bury themselves in the sand or dirt, I guess. But see, if I just stand still here and I don't distract them, they'll start. See, so I don't. Hey, you're blocking sour cream. Sour cream's over there pecking. Oh, and digging. See, there she goes doing chicken. See, she's scratching the dirt. That's what we do around here. But they seem to like it. Hopefully, they like it, and it will help keep them cool later on today. That's the girls playing in the mud. See, Bacon was scratching. Scratch for the people, girl. Scratch. I don't have any roosters. I my very first batch of chicks I had 12 chicks. At the end of that year, I ended up with 7. 3 of them ended up being roosters, and we gave those away to a friend, which I was bummed about because 2 of them, I got 2 Delawares, and those are beautiful birds. They both ended up being roosters, and Georgie, one of the Delawares, was just my favorite chicken ever. But I didn't want roosters, so we gave away Georgie, Dum Dum, and Street Taco, who is a leghorn. And one of my white leghorns and one of my brown leghorns just died in the first year. And that's, part of chicken keeping. Sometimes it happens and you don't know why that happens. So we started with 12 my very first year of chicken keeping and ended up with 7. So this last year in 2024, we got 6 more chicks. So we got 2 Wellbars, 2 Easter eggers, and the 2 Plymouth Blues, and all 6 of those were girls, and they ended up making it. And now we just have a flock of 13. I'm walking over to put the shovel away in the shed, and it's thundering. Like, I recognized that it was getting darker and a little bit cooler, but it's thundering. I'm trying to sit on the porch and enjoy the rain because, look, we're getting beautiful rain. But the rain is pushing, or the wind is pushing the rain all the way through the porch. And so figured I'd get a shot of the garden getting beautiful water from the sky. And then I'm going to head inside instead of, I'm already like wet with sweat. But look at that beautiful rain. Oh, did not know this was coming today, but grateful for it. Okay, so that's a wrap on this video. This is my longest video to date. So I hope you enjoyed the kind of closer look at the coop and run and the chickens and that composting work that I did. I know we barely got to see the garden this week, but the video got well past 20 minutes. And so I was like, well, next week. So next week we'll look at the garden for sure. We'll do some work out there and talk about some of the gardening things that are going on. But thank you for being here. Please feel free to subscribe and get notifications, all of those things. I'm going to see you in a week, next Sunday, or whenever you do your YouTube watching. And in the meantime, get out there and scratch the dirt. Bye.